It's good to be here in Chicago. I like it. Chicago, man, y'all don't play about your money. There was a homeless dude on the corner playing the saxophone. He had the little box for the tips. I was dancing to the saxophone, but I never tipped. He stopped playing. He was like, "You ain't gonna tip, you ain't gonna dance." Dang, city's tough. But it's been cool, man. Chicago put me in a good mood. I was in a bad mood when I came. The other day back home, I got pulled over. And I wasn't moving, though, so I didn't think it was that fair. I was parked. I was parked in a parking lot. And then this cop just pulled in behind me and lit me up. But honestly, I was like, damn, he's good. Because I was just about to start speeding. He's 2 steps ahead of me. He's gonna make detective. I felt like he was messing with me a little bit, cause I'm just sitting there in the parking lot, right? And he rolls up on me, he knocks on my window. He's like, "Hey, you've been in this parking lot for quite a while, and it's starting to look suspicious. Why are you just parked here?" I said, "Sir, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but the dude who invented parking lots, this is what he wanted us to do with them." Yeah. He didn't really like that little joke. I was like, "I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You should get in your car and try it out, man." Yeah, he didn't really like that little joke. Like, I don't think he was racist at all, but as I said that joke, I could see any love he had for Latins just depleting in his eyes. He started asking me if I was high. I don't like to smoke weed and go out in public, so when cops ask me things like that, I don't even get nervous, But this time, I was pretty high. To give you an idea of how high I was, like, I couldn't even focus on the officer talking to me because there was some lady in the parking lot walking around screaming out for somebody named Rocco. She was like, "Rocco, Rocco, Rocco," to the point where, like, I don't know what the cop was talking about. I was just like, "What's going on with Rocco? Why is he not answering? Am I Rocco?" He was like, "Hey, pay attention." He was asking me if I was on drugs or if I had drugs. But I don't know, like, the way he asked me made me feel like maybe he's looking to party. I only say that because cops have an official way of asking things, like cop lingo. They're like, "Hey, are you under the influence of any drugs? Do you have any substances on you?" Things like that. But he didn't ask like that. What he did is he's right here at my window, right? And then he hits one of these. He goes. And then he licked his lips. He hit a mean-ass P. Diddy's ass. He goes, "You do cocaine?" I was like, "I've never tried it, but if you have some, I'll try it once." He was asking me for my ID. But look, the whole reason I was in this parking lot was I borrowed my cousin's car to go to the store. And when I got there, I realized I forgot my wallet. So then I just, sat in the car, killed 20 minutes on Instagram before driving home. The whole reason that this cop approached my car was because after he had seen it parked there for a while, he ran the tags. And when it came up under my cousin's name, it showed that my cousin has a warrant out for his arrest. And like I said, I don't have my ID, man. And you don't know how hard it is for a Hispanic dude in a 99 Impala to convince a cop his name is not Carlos. I was like, sir, I'm not this thug you think I am. I was showing them my emails from Banana Republic. If I was Carlos, you think I have banana points? Come on, man. I was like, I'm not Carlos. I'm Rocco, maybe. I don't know anymore. Yeah, I don't even smoke weed that often, man. Not anymore, at least. Sometimes I'll upload videos of my stand-up on YouTube, and people will be like, this guy's so baked. I'm not. This is just my face. I do think that because I smoked so much during puberty, my face got stuck like this. You know how they tell you, your face gonna get stuck like that. Keep making it. I don't smoke that often anymore. I used to. I really do believe that smoking weed as a teenager saved my life, though. I honestly do, because I was a troublesome little angry kid. I used to fight for dumb reasons. Somebody would be like, hey, man, I was with your girl last night, and I'll be like, what'd you say about my girl? But weed mellowed me out instantly with the first hit. I remember smoking and just being like, man, you can have my girl, bro, no problem. I was like, let me introduce you. I like her, so I know you'll love her, you know? Like, yeah, mellowed me out, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I started smoking as a teenager, which was cool. I grew up with like the exact same group of friends my whole life. The same friends growing up, like a little group of 6 of us. We're still tight till this day, like brothers. But I always remember right around the time I started smoking, my friends started coming out the closet. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a group of 6 of us. It started with one. He broke the ice. He let us know that he's bisexual. And at that same day, at that same time, another 2 of my friends came out and told us that they were gay. So the remaining 3 of us just kind of looked at each other. Like trying to figure out who's next. I'm not gonna lie, in my head, I was like, damn, what if it's me? It's just mad confusing. You know how confusing it is to be this 15-year-old kid thinking you're growing up in the streets with the thugs, and it turns out, nah, you're just a dude from a predominantly gay neighborhood is all. It threw me off so bad, man. You know what I mean? I'm 15. Half my friends are coming out the closet. It's confusing. I had to have a heart-to-heart with my buddy. I was like, Paco, you and me been hanging out every day together since we were 7. Do you think I'm gay too? He's like, man, I'll put it to you like this, man. We're in school, so he points at my classmates. He's like, you see Jessica and Emily over there? If you could have sex with one, who would you have sex with? I said, either one. He said, okay. What about John and Jessica? I said, Jessica, but I know where you're going with this. I should fuck John too, really figure things out. He's like, do whatever you want, man. So I'm straight now, and no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't know. Good times as teenagers, you know. I started smoking. My friends were coming out the closet. We were all just putting things in our mouth that we like. Learning about ourselves. It's cool, man. I miss where I grew up. I like that area. I grew up like right in between a really bad neighborhood and a really nice one. So like I've always understood all the hood lingo, but sometimes I'll hear it and like I still don't catch on quite. You know what I mean? It throws me off. I guess because of where I'm at in the area. Like the other day, my neighbor was catching up with me. He's like, Ralph, I know you've been hitting some fat licks off these comedy shows, homie. Break bread with your kinfolk, babies. You know me and you, we go way back like 4 flats on a Cadillac, cuz. I was like, man, I don't like when you talk like that, Kyle. I can tell I grew up on the badder side of the area just based off of the relationship advice the older dudes used to give me. Like this older neighbor named Roger, I was just venting one day. I was like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out with this girl, man. He's like, you gotta do what I do. When I'm having problems with my girl, I look her right in the face and I say, look, baby, you can do what you do in those streets, but at the end of the day, the streets don't love you like I do. I was like, I don't think we're having the same type of relationship problems there. Like, yeah, I get jealous sometimes, but you, Roger, I think your girlfriend is a prostitute. I could tell that I was on the badder side just because of the gas stations, man. Like, if I'm ever in an area and I'm not sure what kind of area it is, I'll walk into a gas station. That's how I calculate the statistics, you know what I mean? If I go into a gas station and that store has more hot chips than regular chips, I know my chances of getting shot have gone up 60%. But my chances of getting some good weed has gone up 120%. I had a job at a McDonald's when I was 16. And like I used to get kind of depressed as a teenager. Like I'll admit, I even had a little bit of like that self-hatred, but McDonald's saved my life. After 2 weeks of working there, I was like, nah, I don't hate myself this much. I'm out. I deserve better. I've been going out to eat by myself lately, but I'll take my notebook with me so I can write little joke ideas. And I noticed, like, in different parts of town, sometimes people will try to guess what I'm writing in the notebook. Like, whenever I'm in hood-type areas, people are usually like, oh, he's writing raps. Right? But whenever I'm in, like, a nice uptown Starbucks, then people are like, oh, he's writing raps. One time, I was, like, in a very, like, quiet, low-key coffee shop, and this girl comes up to me. She's like, hey, excuse me, are you writing poetry? I was like, no, I'm writing raps. I tried to hide my notebook, and she tried to peek over my shoulder. She was like, how come it says jerk off right there? I was like, don't worry about that. Streets is crazy. People die jerking off there. Try to eat healthy. Like, I'm a type 1 diabetic. And a lot of people don't believe me when I say that. I think it's because I'm real slim. You know, it's kind of like hearing a really ugly dude tell you he got herpes. Because people just look at you like, you got it? Like you think you got it or a doctor told you got it? Well, a doctor did tell me. I was diagnosed like at 6. And I had that same doctor from when I was 6 up until I was 18, which is a long time to have one doctor. So when I left, I thought it'd be nice to leave him a review on his website. So who knows him better than I do, you know? I was like, this man was my doctor for the last 12 years. And I am still diabetic. 1 star. I left him 1 star because of the nurses he had working for him. They used to try to lift you up, but I didn't like it. Because they'll say things like, you know, in time, you could actually find that diabetes could be somewhat of a blessing in disguise. I think I'd rather have just a regular blessing. The disguise part is really messing with my blood sugar. You're a horrible nurse. But I took her advice. Like years down the line, though, I was at a bar and some of my friends started a little fight. And this dude pushed me. So in my head, I was like, diabetes. I didn't want to fight him, so I said, hey, man, you don't want to do this. I'm diabetic. And this is one of those little things that sucks about living in America. He goes, me too, and then punched me in my face. I've never cared about like a weight problem or a diabetes problem in this country, but when that happened, I was like, this is out of control, man, it's diabetes. I saw it as like, come on, man, we gotta stick together, but he saw it as like, nah, 2 types walked in, 1 type's walking out. I go out to eat a lot. I've been having this problem at restaurants where I get skipped in lines pretty much every time by white women. Not saying I'm angry. I'm just saying it's usually you guys. But I don't think it's a race thing. Like, I don't think white women are skipping me because I'm Hispanic. I think white women are skipping me because I'm short and Hispanic. Like, hear me out. You see a 6-foot Latino dude standing in line, that dude has the potential to be tall, tan, handsome. You respect that man's place in that line. But they see me, 5'7" Hispanic dude in line, in their mind they're probably thinking, he probably works here. I'm just getting in front. Like, I don't say anything though. I don't really think it's a big deal. If anybody's wrong in the situation, it's me. Because if it's a good-looking white girl, I'm like, man, whatever. But if it's like a white woman that has a ring on her finger, then I'm like, racist. I don't say anything though. I feel like I learned my lesson once. Because I skipped a white woman once. And I got in front of her and she goes, "You're gonna regret that." I was like, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it. I brushed it off. Then like 2 days later, I went to my old neighborhood to visit my grandma, and they turned their house into a yoga studio. I was like, ah. They fucking got me. Honestly, I kind of like when I get skipped by white ladies. Only the older ones, because they do it with like some guts behind it, with some attitude. You know, like older white ladies with the little glasses. They'll get right in front of you and then look back at you like, what? Go ahead, say something. This is a target. Who do you think they'll believe? I'm like, fair enough, fair enough. I don't know where I fit in, but I really don't. Like, I can't even hang out with my thug friends anymore, because we'll be smoking together and then they like to say cool thug shit, but it'll also hurt my feelings a lot of the time. They get real dramatic when they hit the joint and be like, man, dog, you know, when I think about it, all my real friends are either dead or in jail by now. I'm like, give me back my weed, man. Changing my Hulu password, too. That's for my real friends. I got like my suburban friends too, but they're like college kid, preppy type people, very cocky. Like they can never answer questions by saying yes or no. They always gotta say stuff like, you know me. That's weird. That is the strangest way to answer a question. I talked to my buddy James. I was like, yo, James, a couple weeks ago, we were hanging out at that bar and you seemed to hit it off with that one girl, and I've been meaning to ask you, did you two go home together? He was like, Ralph, you know me. You know me. I was like, dude, she's been missing for like 13 days, man. I don't know you at all. My educated friends are trying to get me into politics more. They're like, man, you don't ever see these immigrant stories on the news and get upset. You know what I mean? Because our parents were immigrants. Doesn't it make you mad the way they treat people? I was like, I don't watch it, but I mean, I'll try. Because I get it. Everybody has something to be offended by, you know? Like, and I want to be a part of my people. I want to find something to get offended about. I want to be mad. I was watching all these different political channels, but I couldn't care much. Until I started watching CNN. They were doing this special on China. And now I started getting a little offended, right? It caught me. The first thing that caught me, 80% of Americans don't trust President Xi Jinping. And I don't think that's true, because I don't think 80% of us knew China had a president. Called my buddy Peng, because he's from China. I was like, yo, you guys have a president in China? He says, no. He said, it's more of like a chairman position. I was like, oh, well, I don't trust him. And then I kept watching. He said, the biggest threat to our country is the country of China. And that's where I got mad. Because China has not only clothed and fed me for the last 20-something years, But after every meal, they give me a little message of inspiration. China's my biggest threat? No. I'll believe they're my mom before I believe they're my biggest threat. They start pressuring me to vote a lot. I don't like that either. I miss being a little kid, getting pressured into more human things, like gangs, drugs. You knew which one was dangerous. But with voting, you can never pick a right side sometimes, you know? You think you know, and then somebody comes out of the shadows with some hidden facts that they read online. It's hard to know what's true or not. You'll be like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go Democrat because I heard they got a good health plan. They're like, no, yeah, they do. It's a good choice. And then out of the shadows, somebody pops up like, but also, they eat children. Oh. Okay, I don't want that. Let me check out the Republican side. And you get the facts on them. Oh yeah, they got a good budget plan. They're really trying to fix up the economy. You'll like it. And then out of those same shadows, somebody pops up with like, but also, they're the ones who purchased the children. Like, I'm good on kids, man. I'm good. I do want to vote. I do want to, but honestly, I want to do it for bragging rights. I feel like one day there's going to be a badass president who legalizes all sorts of cool things across the country. Like mushrooms, weed, prostitutes. Not saying I'm just gonna go indulge in all of these, but I would like to think if, you know, by some circumstance I find myself sharing a legitimate blunt with a legal prostitute as we file her W-9. In that moment, I want to be like, you're welcome, by the way. I voted. I did this. Like, it's just scary. Like, you really do got to get informed, man. You can't just make a snap decision. Like, I'm 25, but I don't feel like I'm old enough to vote. You know, like I want to pick a president, but at this age, like I'm still learning how to pick good mechanics. I got my wheel alignment the other day by a dude who guessed the price off the top of his head. I just pulled in. I was like, excuse me, sir, how much is it for a wheel alignment? He was kicking my tires. I just looked at him like, I don't know either. But I went with him because he seemed trustworthy enough. But my car drives more crooked now than when I gave it to him. I don't know much about cars or politics, but I do know this. I do know that sometimes people running for office scare me for the same reason that mechanics scare me. Like, you ever notice people who run for office talk about the country the same way mechanics talk about your car? They're like, can I fix it? Yes, but I got to take it apart from the inside. Really, it's going to take me some time, especially because, look, I don't know if you saw this, but the guy who had it before me, he really fucked this up.